Hello, boys and girls. It's Monster Forge again. Hi. And you might remember this guy right here. This is a BLOKEES champion class stormtrooper from Star Wars, specifically from A New Hope, the first Star Wars. Well, episode 4, but still the first one that was ever made. You catch my drift. Now, I did a review of this guy a while back. But since I did that review, I've added a few more members to the BLOKEES Star Wars team. Namely, this guy and this guy. And you might ask, who are those guys? Well, if you ask who those guys are, have you seen Star Wars? Yeah, I'm just kidding. Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper disguise and Han Solo in Stormtrooper disguise. One thing you'll notice right out the gate, the Han Solo is taller than the standard Stormtrooper size, and Luke Skywalker is shorter than the standard Stormtrooper size. Now, I'm guessing there's some kind of regulations in the Stormtrooper army. I don't know if George, whenever he wrote the first Star Wars, he was intending for all of the Stormtroopers to still be clones or whatever, or if that changed later on. But evidently, according to Princess Leia's line, there's like a standard size for a Stormtrooper. Because when Luke comes in, she says, aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper? Anyway, these are the BLOKEES versions of those. And what's cool about all three of these sets is that each one of them has all the parts to build the regular stormtrooper. They also come with parts to make them specifically Luke and Han Solo. Namely, the thighs. The thighs on the Luke Skywalker are shorter parts, the black part inside of the thigh. And on the Han Solo, they're longer. And if you look at them right next to each other, kind of stand him up straight so you can see. Let's see. Han Solo's a little bit straighter up. You can see it plainly. Han Solo's got a big gap between the crotch piece and the leg pieces. And I'm not sure about Harrison Ford's height, but that kind of, if he is taller, that makes sense. And I don't know if he's taller than your standard stormtrooper, but for some reason, the BLOKEES people, which they're sticklers for detail, because like those stormtrooper helmets are more accurate than most of the action figures I've seen. But I think they did a fantastic job with the Luke and Han. Looking at looking at the head sculpt on the Luke. Oh, is it focusing at all? Come on. Maybe a little bit closer. You can tell it's Mark Hamill, but a lot of people have been saying, well, it looks weird. It's like, are they wearing eye makeup? What's the deal with it? I think these have sort of an anime type flair to them. They look a lot like the manga artwork of the Star Wars characters that I've seen in the past. And I love them. I like the style and everything for the heads. They're kind of simplified versions of the character portraits, and Han Solo's the same way. It's like you can tell it's Harrison Ford, but a lot of the details are simplified. And he doesn't have a scar on his chin. Okay, well, that would go in with the simplified. But I love them. I love the look of these two. Like they look like the way I remember Star Wars from being a kid. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. They're just kind of iconic looking. And different from the regular Stormtrooper. Oh, let me pull back a little bit. I'm way close. There's some differences, some other differences too. The Luke is, well, you know what? I think I messed up. Maybe when I put together my original Stormtrooper, I didn't put him at the right height. I'm just noticing that now because it's the first time I've had the two of them standing next to each other. Maybe he's supposed to have the longer thighs like Han Solo. I don't know if he had them. Now, I've got some extra... Whoa, somewhere. Oh, here it is. I've got the extra thighs that I took off of the Sprute. If this happens one more time, I'm stopping. But there's one of the extra thigh pieces. I might try that out and see if that lengthens the leg some. Because the Luke is... Or maybe I have his... Oh, that's what it was. I had his thighs pop down from... whatever. I don't know. He's still the same size. How about that? Things you notice while you're filming. Maybe. Does that have the... Nope. Oh, well, I just dropped the bottom half of a Stormtrooper in the floor. That's one cool thing about BLOKEES figures. You can break them apart, but they go right back together again. But I love these kits. Whatever. I'll figure out the size thing with Luke because I know he's supposed to be shorter. I may have the extra parts and all my part stuff. Anyway, one of the differences between him and the regular Stormtrooper is his belt had a special place for the holster for the gun to go. Also, he doesn't have one of those, I think those are like a bomb or something right there. I'm not exactly sure. He doesn't have that, but he has, if you look right here really closely, that's the little grapple hook thing that he used to swing across the chasm with Princess Leia. That's a cool little detail. Other than that, they're almost identical in every way. And both Han Solo and Luke come with the extra helmets, so you can make them look, you know, like they're in disguise. And let's see. I'll do it with old Lukey Pukey here. And you can see when you pop it on, he pretty much just looks like a Stormtrooper. Actually, right now, the regular Stormtrooper looks shorter than Luke. It's weird. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. It's not really important. I mean, I guess it is for some people, but also, like they have the pieces to make the Stormtrooper helmets one of two ways. You can put it together, and it has the let's see if I can get that to focus any. Get some light on the situation here. You can see it's got the socket on the inside, and let me see if I can find one of the hands. Okay, here we go. Luke and Han also come, well, that's the standard helmet, and you can put it together with the socket piece in there, or the kit includes also. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, here it is. When you're putting the helmet together, you can also choose to use this little piece. And what it is when you put it inside the helmet, it's little finger holds. There's a special hand that's made for holding the helmet. And it looks like this. It's got, oh, I keep going off camera with it. It looks like a Stormtrooper hand, but the fingers are bent, and then there's a little plug. And what you can do is there's a little socket in there, and you can just plug the hand in there, and you've got a hand that holds the helmet. And you can just pop that on the wrist of, you know, like if you got Luke here, and you want him to hold the helmet, you pop that on there, and he's holding his helmet, which I think is a really cool thing. The BLOKEES stuff is so well thought out. You know, they got accessories that match everything. They've got tons of hands that come with each figure, so you can do all kind of stuff with them. They've got both hands that have the gun made into them, just like the older Stormtrooper did. But they also have, well, like looking at Han Solo here, he also comes with just a blaster that is, you know, it's not being held. it's not being held, but he comes with a holster as well, and you can holster his gun on the belt like that. And you see his is made with that little packet on the back, but no grapple hook. Only Luke's had that. So obviously they took Stormtrooper armor from different types of Stormtroopers or different specialties or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how that goes. But yeah, they're really cool. And I love them. I love all of the BLOKEES figures so far. You'll notice too, Han Solo comes with the larger blaster rifle. And it comes, the way it works is, it actually comes with several parts to make it work. Or I'm sorry, just a couple extra pieces to make it work. Also, I did want to say the loot, is it just the loot kit? Let me see. Yeah, the loot kit also comes with an extra belt. I keep doing it out the way. It comes with an extra belt that has the little packet thing that you can plug on, and you can put those little pouches hanging down there, and it'll be like the regular Stormtrooper. Like the regular Stormtrooper doesn't have the holster, but he's got this little belt thing, and it goes like this. So you can, either one, the Han Solo or Luke, you can make them look like, because they each come with that extra piece. It's really cool. But the way the Han Solo gun works, let me see. Let me find one. Yes, I'll use that. You take it out of his hand. It's actually, I keep doing that. Let me get the thing down here so I don't keep doing that. That's the hand holding the rifle, and it will come apart right here. And this is made into the hand. And I like the guns that are made into the hand because you don't lose them as easily. But you can also put it together with this, and you just have the rifle. And you can have, let's see. You can have Han Solo, you know, just kind of, you can just have him kind of holding the rifle, you know, like regular. And his blaster. But he has a hand that's made, you know, each kit comes with a hand that's made with a blaster. Now, this is somebody holding the blaster in their left hand. And I can't remember if Harrison Ford is left-handed or not. I'm not sure. I didn't even bother looking. But I think, I want to say there's a hand. And you see, this is what you wind up with when you collect BLOKEES. There's a bunch of extra parts that you didn't even think you would use. But I thought there was one hand that Han Solo came with. I could be wrong. Oh, yeah, here it is. Here it is, right here. You can take the blaster. Oh, you're not really seeing it. Where does it go? It's a certain way. Yep. You can pop this on here. And this is a very scene-specific thing because there's pictures of Han Solo where he's standing holding the rifle like this with it cupped in his hand. Which, you know, if you know anything about firearms, that's not a very safe thing to do. But Han Solo's a smuggler. He doesn't like to play by the rules. Come on. Why is it not? There we go. You can see he's holding the rifle like that. And, you know, like he can be sitting down in a chair, you know, with the rifle. Come on. You have to kind of move some pieces. Well, I knocked that off. But anyway, sitting in a chair, holding the rifle in his hand. We are not depicting anything bad here. This is just how a goofy Corellian holds a... God, just make it difficult for me, won't you? There we go. Holding the rifle like this, you know, seated down. And I'm not sure if that was how he was pictured with the gun, but I know I've seen it. But you know, you've seen people in movies holding guns like this. Not a good idea. Just for anybody that's impressionable watching, don't ever hold a gun by the barrel. It's kind of a goofy thing to do, but you can take that hand out, take this out, pop it back into here, and it has a specific way that it goes, and you can have him holding his rifle like you want him to. So I'll straighten his legs out, and anything that pops off of these guys are made to pop right back on. So that little pouch right there on his belt, just pop it in place like that, and he's back to being how he was before I started goofing around with him. I kind of like to tuck it like this and have the hand holding the gun up like this. And we got Luke Skywalker holding his helmet. And both helmets, or both figures, come with the hands, the standard hands that hold the helmet, or the socket like that. I got my buddy a Luke Skywalker the other day, and he threw out, and it's real easy to do, he threw out the sprue piece that had this little part that's got the other part that's inside the helmet with the socket. It's that little piece in the middle, and he accidentally threw that out. So I gave him my part, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this helmet that doesn't have the socket in it, and I'm going to make a socket in the middle of it. I'll probably have to Dremel out some of that stuff and maybe file down those finger hold things, but one way or the other, my Luke will have the ability to either, hold the helmet or not. So, but you get the helmet, you get a bunch of hands, you get an extra stock, things like that. Just a ton of stuff. But this is kind of a rushed look at the newer guys that I have, because I wanted to show you. It's the wrong hand. I'm kind of weird about putting my stuff back the right way it should be. Probably it's either the ADD or the autism. I don't know which one. One of the two things that I am blessed to have. Oh gosh. You know what? Bump it. We're just going to do this. He's pistol packing Luke Skywalker, just the way he should be. Yep. So I'll have him with Han Solo here, with his blazing blasters. Put him back here. I'll put him back here, and I'll have the Stormtrooper right here, because I have one more thing to talk about. Well, one other thing. I can't remember if it was the Luke or the Han Solo. They came with a mouse droid, and it actually has little rolling wheels, so you can roll him along like that. But he's one of the mouse droids that you saw him in the Death Star running around, and they're really cool. He's got little details on both sides. He's got a little deck thing up top, and he can, you look at the little wheels, they do indeed roll. So there's that. But one of the things I wanted to show you, I had to move it up a little bit, because the next one I got is taller than everybody else. And it is the BLOKEES Champion Class. Come on, thing, work with me. There we go. It's the BLOKEES Champion Class Darth Vader from A New Hope. And actually, he's not. So I don't remember if they're marked on the package as A New Hope, but it's not. Because in the first movie, for one thing, Darth Vader's eye lenses weren't black, they were red, much more menacing. And the chest plate here, the little fabric parts that came down there, they went over this part. So you didn't see much of the silver in the movie. This is more like the way he looked in Empire and Return of the Jedi. And that's fine. I like all the different versions. Like, Darth Vader went through some versions as the series went on. So, but that's cool. And he's a cool figure. I didn't really have to go through the articulation with those guys because they're very similar. but he's a little bit different. The way he works, what I'll do at first is I will take his helmet off, and because that cape, it's soft. It's not soft goods. It's just a soft vinyl, so you can kind of roll it up or fold it or whatever you want to do. It will almost stand on its own, but it won't. And he's got the same material for the waist cloak. But all you have to do to take it on and put it on is you pop the head off, put it on, pop the head back on, and you're in business. And it's loose around his neck, but it's not a problem because you can have him posed and put it over one side, and it looks like the wind's blowing, or this side, whichever one you want. And it looks like the wind's blowing his cape out to the side, but just for posing purposes, I'm gonna take it off for a second. Now, he's really cool. He is taller than the standard human in the champion class. You'll see here with the stormtrooper. You know, he's like half a head taller than him, so he's a big guy. Still, these guys do not scale with the Black Series figures, which are 1/12 scale. So they're, you know, a 6-foot man is 6 inches tall. And I'll show you that right now. This is the Black Series Darth Vader, and you can see there's a good bit of difference in their height. And this does happen to be A New Hope one, because I don't know if you can see it or not. He's kind of dusty, but he has the red tinted or sort of brown tinted eyes in the helmet, or eye hole lenses or whatever, and he also has the cloaks over his chest piece. So that's usually how you can tell it's A New Hope Darth Vader. Anywho, going back to this, Darth Vader, one cool thing about him, the helmet does pop off. And there's one thing that I've not seen in most blockies model kits like this. There's a part where you'll have to paint to make it accurate, and it's the back of his noggin. You can see he's got the flesh with the scars and all on it, and he's got the little places with the seals for the helmet. They're going to need to be painted if you want them to be accurate. If you don't care about it, you can just pop the helmet on and it covers them up perfectly, but I would like to paint those parts, and I will. So he's got a couple of different joints. He's got a joint down inside the chest, and you can kind of see there's a ball right there. There's a socket inside the neck, and that allows you to move that around. But then you can also you can move it at the actual bottom of the head. Let me see if I can get that to come off that thing. I don't know. Oh, there we go. So yeah, he's got a socket in there, and you just pop this boy in here and get it turned the right way. Yeah. Yep, that's the right way. And then just pop it back on there. He has shoulder joints that go up some, but the shoulder pad does get in the way a little bit. It will move out of the way, but it doesn't ideally. He doesn't have a really great way to move it all the way out. Now, he does have butterfly joints inside the torso. See if I can keep it focused there. He has butterfly joints inside the torso, so you can move him around a little bit. And you can adjust his shoulders. He does move it. Okay, all right. I made a liar out of myself. He can bring his arms out this far if you angle it down and then push that up. He has twist at the like right at the top of the bicep. He has double jointed elbows, and he has a hinge and a ball socket on each side of the hinge. So he's got good range of motion on the hands. Well, that was a disaster. I knocked my phone off the stand and I'll have to edit all that out. But anyway, the lightsaber comes out of the hilt, so you can just have the lightsaber like this. Unfortunately, You don't get parts for a lightsaber that can hang off of the belt. He doesn't really have anywhere to hang it off of his belt. That's one thing that I wish it had, but it doesn't. Whatever. One thing to make up for it, though, is you get a different lightsaber blade that's really cool because it's flattened out. So whenever he's fighting, you know, how the lightsaber would kind of blur when it would move around. Oh, look, you can see Luke through it. But yeah, you've got that hand for just specifically for holding the lightsaber, and you don't get a detachable lightsaber. Now he comes with, let me see if I can bring these things all in and get you a better view on it. These are all well, almost all of these are hands. You get an extra wrist joint because they know you're going to lose one, and an extra foot part. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you get 2 fists, you get 2 hands that are sort of splayed out. Like there's the left one, and here's, I mean, there's the right one, and here's the left one that's kind of slightly splayed out. And then you get the force using hands, which are kind of grippy, like I'm gripping into the force. And you get a pointing finger, so he can point at Princess Leia and tell her that she's a part of the Rebel Alliance, and a traitor, take her away. And then you've got kind of a gesturing hand like that, so maybe he can move things. The force, like the grippy force hands, are really cool. These things are a pain in the butt to get out. Hold on. But you know, he has his little force hand, like I'm gonna crush you with the force, or he can be doing this gesture. Let's see, you gotta get him just right to get him to turn. Yeah, or he's like and lifting things up. I don't know. But yeah, he comes with all those extra parts. The only other thing that he comes with is, I both like and don't like these things. It's the stands for the BLOKEES figures, and you'll notice there's these big holes in them, and they actually do they turn, you know, however you want to pose the character. And they also come with this which I think the joint plugs into. But the way these work, I don't like it, because you have to take part of your figure apart. You'll notice they have little tiny holes in the bottom of their feet, and those holes that are in the base are Whomper Stomper holes. Holes that match this part right here. And what you have to do is, let's see which finger, I mean which which foot is it? I think it's this one. You take up the front of the foot. Oh, I didn't even go through the articulation for the rest of the body. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me do that. He's got 2 joints. Oh, he's got 2 joints inside the waist. So he's got all kind of range there. He can bend forward, backward, side, whatever. He also has drop down hips. So you got a good range of motion at the hip. And you can bring him up higher. He's got double, is it double jointed? I think it's, yeah, it's double jointed. It's just, yeah, like that. Got double jointed knees. He's got a joint in the ankle that goes forward and backwards, and it also has a tilt to it, which either one of these can also be moved around to do different things. It's just according to how you have it, because it's basically, it's a swivel joint in the middle, and it's got a plug on each end, sort of like the little hand joint. And then he's got a toe articulation that it's good for some posing and all. But back to where I was, the foot, you click the front part, the toes up, and then you take off the sole of the shoe, and you pop on this special sole for using the stand, and it has a peg in it. And using that, there we go. Using that, you can plug him onto the stand with his special his special peggy shoe. So, you know, you can have him doing all kind of poses and such like that. I just wish it had pegs in the base, in the base that would plug into the feet of these characters, because each one of them has a little peg hole in the bottom of the feet, but there's no pegs to match it. I think that would be more versatile, but I mean, it works well. You know, you see, you got him leaning pretty far forward, and he's not falling down. You can, you know, pretty much have him do whatever you want to. I don't remember that part in Star Wars where he did that, but, you know, just to go along with it, let's have this. But yeah, he's a cool figure. And the thing is, with these BLOKEES figures, you don't really even need the stand. They are so well articulated. It's always fun when that thing goes right up under my fingernail. Woo-hoo. But anyway, they are so well articulated that you can find a balance point somewhere with them. Darth Vader is a little bit more hindered because of the waist cape or whatever, but you can still find the sweet spot that's going to balance him just like you want him. And yeah, case in point. Yeah. So basically all of these guys are really, really nicely posable. So you can get them however you want. It's really down to what kind of posing you want to do and can do. But yeah, these are, the cool thing is the BLOKEES. The first one I bought was the Stormtrooper, and I bought him from AliExpress, and he was like 20 bucks. And most retail places online have him for about 20 bucks, but you can actually pick up all of these guys at most Walmart stores now, and they're 15 bucks a piece. That's a much better alternative to paying 20 bucks for him and shipping. So just keep a lookout when you're in Walmart, and you can find these. These are BLOKEES Champion class, and they're sort of 1/6 scale. I mean, sorry, 1/12 scale. But they, you know, you have to remember that they aren't. So the Black Series figures are actually closer to the right scale. But the more and more of these BLOKEES figures come out, the less I'm going to worry about whether or not they're compatible with the Black Series stuff. I know that coming up very soon, and they popped up on some online retailers, there's a Bo-Katan and Mandalorian and Grogu. And Mandalorian and Grogu, you know, Din Djarin and Grogu come together as a set. But I want to get both of those because they both look really good. It's like they're getting better every time they release a set of these guys. Darth Vader and the Stormtrooper were in the first lineup, and Luke and Han are in the second, and then the next ones that are supposed to be coming out are Bo-Katan and the Mandalorian and Grogu. I hope they release a Boba Fett. I would much rather, like, don't get me wrong, I loved Book of Boba Fett, and I liked his look in that with the black outfit and everything, but I would also like to have the gray Boba Fett outfit from Empire and Return of the Jedi. But I can't recommend BLOKEES enough. I think they're great toys. They're fun. The posability is good on them. The joints are really nice. Like, that's one thing about them. They've got very, very, like, buttery smooth joints. So, you know, if you like posing your figures, you can pose them and not have to worry about things getting in the way. You know, one thing that I find a lot of times with the Black Series is getting the joints to move the way you want them to. And it's not as much fun posing them as it is to pose the BLOKEES figures. And you have to do some weird stuff with the joints to get them just right. But yeah, the BLOKEES figures are much more fun. And that's just my opinion. The helmets are more accurate too. I'm looking at you, guy. So anyway, if you can, find you some blockies, build them. They're model kits. They're fun to build. Requires no tools, no glue, no paint, nothing. I mean, I am going to paint the back of Darth Vader's noggin there. But other than that, you don't have to paint a thing. All of these little components and everything on here, they come painted. Like all the parts that are painted come together in a bag that's separate than the rest of the model. And it's great. So, highly recommended. Blockies, Star Wars, and these are champion class again. Good luck hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, guys.